morning, good morning, good morning. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Clap your hands, clap, clap, clap. Stomp your feet, stomp, stomp, stomp. Spin around, spin, spin, spin. All right. Good morning, good morning, good morning. 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 Wash your hands, wash, wash, wash. Shake your hands, shake, shake, shake. Brush your teeth, brush, brush, brush. All right. Good morning.
I did it again with the sound. So, sorry. I don't know what that was. Is it echoing now? Do y'all hear an echo now, or is it just me? I turned the mic on now, but now I hear an echo. Do y'all hear it? This is a professional show. So, anyway, yeah, I don't know. I don't know what's going on with that. Hold on a second. Let me see if I can figure it out. Let's try that. Is that better? Yeah, that should be better. We'll try that. Anyway, I think I got the echo fixed now. Anyway, this is the morning show with UNCLELOU and BVD. Appreciate you guys tuning in. Of course, we do this show every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 8 a.m. Eastern. This is a college football channel. Most of you are here know that already. And we do talk a lot of sports on the morning show, but not strictly sports. If you're looking for something that's 100% sports 100% of the time, then you can check out my nighttime shows Tuesdays and Thursdays at 10 p.m. Eastern. Those are 100% sports call-in shows. We take phone calls from mostly college football fans, but we talk all kinds of sports. Anyway, so this is a mixture of all different kinds of crap, basically. And today is a perfect example of that, as BVD is going to regale us with tales of pizza delivery porn. That's right. He'll be calling in here in a few minutes. But I also want to talk about the worst of the worst playoffs that we do here on the channel every year. And I'm going to have you guys help me decide this morning what 4 teams we're going to put in the worst of the worst playoffs this year. If you're new to the channel this year and you don't know what this is, I have the old Xbox 360 hooked up out here. And NCAA 14, which for now is the most recent version of the game. And then I have the rosters on that game updated to all the current rosters, right? So it's at least the current players. Anyway, the whole point of the worst playoffs, we try to figure out who were the worst 4 teams in the Power 5. Now, keep in mind, this isn't really trolling like, oh, Tennessee's terrible, so we'll put Tennessee in there. Tennessee is not one of the worst 4 teams. Now, they've been in this thing before. When they were 4-8, we put them in it. They were one of the worst then. This is truly the worst 4 teams. So, like, maybe Rutgers. Anyway, we'll get BVD to help us out with that, and you guys in the comment section, too, coming up here in a little bit. I want to talk about that. We're going to do that on the channel next week on Tuesday and Thursday night after the call-in show. So we'll do the call-in show like we always do for an hour and a half, whatever, starting at 10. And then when the phone call portion of the show is over, we will move on to the worst of the worst playoffs. We'll do, I think I'm probably going to have to add a third show to get all of that in 1 week. I haven't decided yet. We'll do the first round Tuesday night. We'll do the second game of the first round Thursday night. And then, of course, we'll have to have the championship game, too. And I haven't decided if I'm going to wait and do that the following Tuesday or if maybe I add a third show, maybe Saturday night to do the championship game or something. I'll figure that out in the next couple of days, and we'll see how it goes. What's up, BVD?
Hey, good morning, UNCLELOU. How are you this morning?
Yeah, I'm doing good. I started off a little rough today, but I think we got it. I think we got it situated now, which is, as you know, a minor miracle.
Yeah, you've been hanging around me too long, man. You're starting to start your shows like I do.
I mean, it's impossible to find a good sound engineer these days. The one I have now clearly doesn't know what he's doing, which is me. But anyway, I was telling people about the worst of the worst playoffs that I do. I think you know what that is. I've done it for a couple of years, but I picked well, I don't pick, but as a channel, comment section, whatever, we decide on the worst 4 teams of the year. And I have a playoff involving those 4 teams on that old NCAA video game, you know, with the updated rosters and that. Who do you think were the worst, or who do you think was the worst team in the Power 5 this year? You don't have to name 4. Who do you think was the worst team in the Power 5?
Right off the top of my head, first of all, I'm just glad Tennessee won't be in that this year.
Yeah.
But I'm going with Arkansas right off the top of my head.
Great choice. Great choices. I'm pretty sure they'll end up being in it. Let me ask you this. Could this be the first year that Kansas is not in it? How many games did they end up winning?
I have no
Did
clue.
they get to 3 or 4? I mean, they normally win 1-2 games a year. What they get to? It seems like they got to 3 or maybe even 4.
You might have to defer to the geniuses in the chat section for that one.
Yeah, somebody will know, or maybe somebody can look it up and let us know. But I don't know. It's gonna be. I mean, listen. If they're not one of the worst 4, they're like 5 or 6. I mean, they're on the bubble for sure, you know, so they may end up getting a spot still. Georgia Tech, someone mentions in the comments section. Nebraska, Nebraska, I think, falls into the disappointment category more so than one of the worst 4 teams. And I floated the idea of doing a second playoff this year where I do a disappointment playoffs, and that would be teams like Texas, Miami, Nebraska.
Wait. Texas?
Yeah, they were just they were
I
disappointing.
thought they were back.
They are in 2020.
Okay, well, that's,
Last
we can
year they were
relate.
kidding. Yeah, last year they were kidding. They were trolling last year.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they were trolling, and we fell for it, hook, line, and sinker. This time they're serious though. But yeah, Georgia Tech probably deserves a look for the worst of the worst. Rutgers, Arkansas. Who was the worst team in the Pac-12? Was it Oregon State again?
They're perennially. That's it. That is a word.
Yeah.
Perennially bad.
I mean, clearly, when you look at the SEC, that's Arkansas. When you look at the Big Ten, I guess that's Rutgers. The Big 12, Kansas was probably still the worst team, weren't they? They might not be one of the worst 4 in America, but they were still the worst in the Big 12, weren't they? I think they were.
Mosey said 3-9.
3-9. Yeah, they're probably going to end up. I mean, they've been like a 1 seed most years because they've been like the worst team. Maybe this year they end up being like a 3 or a 4, but it's looking like Kansas probably still finds a way to get into this worst of the worst playoffs. Headed in the right direction, though.
Have you ever done a all-time worst playoff, like the all-time or
No,
uh,
I wouldn't be able to do that on the video game because not really because I can find rosters from any year, but I can't mix match years. So like I wouldn't be able to play like 2017 Tennessee versus 2018 Kansas or something like that, you know.
right?
But anyway, Brian Biak, thank you for the super chat this morning, sir. I really appreciate that. He says $2 on FSU for worst team, broken chop.
Man.
I don't know. I mean, they made a bowl game. I don't think anybody that makes a bowl game can be considered one of the worst 4 Power 5 teams.
Wait, LSU made a bowl game this year?
No, he said FSU.
I know.
But yeah, LSU may win too. FSU would be a candidate for like the disappointment playoffs if we end up doing something like that, I think. But I don't.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, listen, no one had more fun laughing at Florida State this year than I did, but I don't know about considering them one of the worst 4 teams. Disappointing, yes. I get, Miami. I don't think there's much debate for the 4 most disappointing teams. I would say Nebraska, Texas, Miami, Florida State. I can't think of another team that was more disappointing than either of those 4.
Say those 4 again.
Texas, Miami, Nebraska, Florida State. Disappointing.
Yeah, that would be that'd be 4 good ones.
Yeah, and I could always go back and like look at like the preseason AP top 25 or something and try to find like the highest ranked team that ended up unranked or something like that.
Yeah.
I mean, Texas was top 10 the first 2 or 3 weeks of the year and ended up with 5 losses. So, you know, that they definitely fit the bill here for most disappointing.
I don't know if you know this or not, Lou. You are a pretty fart smeller. You know Tennessee's going to win it all next year, right? You are aware that Tennessee's going 15-0 next year, right?
I'm going to be honest with you. I've been saying for a while, Tennessee 2020 8-4. But after you guys got Cade Mays, I'm really leaning 8-4.
What's wrong with you, man? I mean,
well, how much time do you have?
95% of Vol Nation, once they heard the news about Cade Mays, automatically ramped their next year's projections up from 15-0 to 15-0 for the next 2 years.
Yeah, they're clowning Clemson now. Ha ha ha! 29-1. We're going 30-0. I do think Cade Mays is a huge. Well, let me finish this thought. I mean, he's good. Like, a lot of, because of what we do and where we hang out and how we associate with other college football fans, it's hard to get anybody to admit anything. So, we don't have Cade Mays now, so you get a lot of Georgia fans. Oh, he's terrible. He's soft. He's no good. Blah, blah, blah. He's pretty good, especially like against the run. We might have already talked about this, but he's really good against the run. He needs some work in pass protection. I mean, I'm not, I mean, that's just the truth of the matter. I mean, you watch the Sugar Bowl. I mean, he got beat like a drum.
Yeah.
And it happened not just the Sugar Bowl, but that was our most recent game. But it did happen a lot in pass protection. But he is an absolute monster in the running game, and he's and y'all know this in particular about. I mean, you know this personally about Cade Mays. He's he's nasty. And
yeah, he is.
That's not the worst possible trait for an offensive lineman to have. I mean, he's got a mean streak in him, and you can really see that, like I said, in his run blocking. He needs some help with footwork and a few things with pass protection. And plus, Georgia was forced to play him at tackle a lot this year because of injuries, and he's just not a tackle. He needs to be on the inside.
Yeah.
But so that's a good pickup for Tennessee. But somebody I forgot about until I happened to see a post about this guy yesterday is DeAngelo Gibbs. His waiver didn't go through for you guys. You had a couple of waivers that did go through. His didn't. So you guys will have him this year too. I guess he'll play DB. I don't know. I know there was some word of maybe looking at him at wide receiver for y'all. So I don't know if you know any more on that or not. He couldn't play last year because he had to sit out a year. But he's another guy that y'all stole from us.
Well, stealing players from Georgia used to be a every year thing for Tennessee back in the 90s. And I'm talking recruiting, not since the transfer portal and all that stuff. But just real quick about Cade Mays, Tennessee fans will be happy to know that I personally am going to work with him on his pass blocking in the off season. So,
You're going to teach him everything he needs to know about his football.
That's right. That's a little known fact about BVD is I'm actually a professional offensive line coach as well as any other position that needs coaching up.
I'll say this too because I feel like I'm being truthful about Cade Mays. Like I think that's a benefit to Tennessee. Like I do think he's good and will play a lot and probably start. DeAngelo Gibbs, I'm not convinced on. Now it's been a year since he left Georgia. I hope for his sake he got himself straightened out. He had some issues, not like legal issues or nothing like that, but he just he didn't seem 100% bought in just to football in general. He had some. Well, he had some issues, and he was. Cade Mays would have started this year for Georgia. So, DeAngelo Gibbs, he wouldn't have started last year. He wouldn't have saw the field. So hopefully he's got himself turned around because he's got a lot of ability and talent. I mean, he was very highly recruited out of high school, can play wide receiver or DB, very athletic, fast, but he needed to get his between the ears figured out, and there's a lot of people that are like that. Great athletes, great football players, basketball players, whatever. When you get to a certain level, though, see, that's the thing. When you're the best player on the team every single year, from the time you're 6 and 7 years old all the way up through high school, if you don't develop like that work ethic, even though you technically don't need it, like DeAngelo Gibbs, I'm sure was the star player on every team he was ever on, and he didn't have to work very hard. Once you get to the SEC, every single kid on that team, even the third-string guys, were the best player on their team every single year. Like, everyone is you at that point. And that's where, like, hard work and dedication really starts to separate itself from, maybe those that have just sort of floated by on pure talent and ability. And,
yeah.
But there's a lot of players like that, so I'm not singling DeAngelo Gibbs out. But and like I said, he's been gone from UJ for a year now, and sometimes that does some kids some good. I love getting these big name in-state guys to commit to Georgia, but some kids need to get away from home for one reason or another. And that may have been the case with him, and maybe he'll end up having a good year. We'll see. I don't know.
Well, he is going to be working with not only the best defensive coach in America, the best fan offensive line coach in America that can also coach DB. So he's got a lot to look forward to at Tennessee.
Yeah, I'm sure he's excited about the endless possibilities that being a Vol for life will present for him.
He knows also that he's looking at a 15-0 season coming up. So. Hopefully that won't deter his work ethic and cause him to rest on his laurels, so to speak.
Yeah, he should be fine. Braves WS95, thank you for the super chat, sir. Do we finally win it all this year? Woo. Yeah. It's the middle of January. Of course we're winning it all. Everyone is winning it all finally next year. I don't know. There's more question marks about Georgia heading into next year, clearly, than there were this year. But
your whole offensive line's gone, isn't it? Except for one.
Yeah. Now we had a lot of injuries along the offensive line this year, and so we played a lot of players. And as you know, Georgia has recruited really well the last 3 or 4 years. There isn't a single position group on the team that we've recruited better than offensive line. So I don't think anyone should feel sorry for Georgia's offensive line situation. We're going to put plenty of talent on the field at offensive line next year. Now, the thing about offensive line, and you know this, BVD, being an offensive line expert like you were just telling us, cohesion is important on an offensive line. Like, you can't just take 5 really talented people that have never played offensive line together, put them on the field, and expect them to perform great as a unit. Like, you have to learn to play with each other as an offensive line. So I think it may be like a work in progress thing the first few games of the year, but I still think Georgia's offensive line will be one of the most talented in the SEC. Now, Tennessee may have the most talented. Tennessee might have one of the best offensive lines in America next year if all the guys play up to their potential. I think you have 4 or 5 stars now at offensive line up there.
That's a scary thought, Tennessee's offensive line potentially being the best in the country, because I remember those years where every year coming into the season, Tennessee's offensive line was either going to be the best in the history of the school or the best in the country or the best in the universe, or, insert best here.
Yeah.
And almost every year, that was the case. The offensive line ended up either sucking really bad or sucking really bad.
I'll say this. I would rather have – I think a team would get more wins with an elite offensive line and average skill position players in the SEC than they would with elite skill position players and a terrible offensive line.
Oh, yeah.
The defensive lines in the SEC are ridiculous. I mean, even if you look at the teams that aren't considered to have clearly you got the names on the top of the list, Alabama, Auburn. Believe it or not, South Carolina has a great defensive line. But even if you forget about those teams and you look at maybe the tier below that, Georgia, Florida, Tennessee, whoever you want to name, Texas A&M, LSU, whatever, those are some serious defensive lines there. If you don't have an offensive line in the SEC, it's hard to accomplish much of anything. I don't care how good your quarterback or receivers or running backs or whatever are. Those defensive lines in the SEC will eat you alive.
Yeah, that's defensive lines been a sore spot for us the last few years. Hopefully we'll get that fixed. But yeah, you're right. I mean, that's any level of football.
Yeah.
You hear coaches say it all the time. It begins and ends in the trenches. And cliches are cliches for a reason. Unless it's a Butch Jones cliche. But then, these sayings are sayings for a reason.
And, of course, your best friend, Billy Cole, shows up in the comment section and wants to know your opinion on Tennessee's 3-star long snapper that he's been talking about for 2 months.
Billy Cole is he's in love with Will Albright.
He's obsessed with that long snapper. And every time I go on one of your streams and he's in the comment section, he's talking about that long snapper.
Yep. Well, jealousy's not a good thing, Billy. Billy's an old man. I don't know if you realize this or not. He's an old man. He's older than me, so he's working on decrepit.
Yeah.
But he's a good guy.
Yeah.
So, I allow him to pick on my long snapper like that. Otherwise, I'd probably have to throw fists with anybody else that picks on my boy.
Billy was the inspiration for me adding the long snapper comment on the crawl at the bottom of the screen for these shows.
Oh,
and that's quite an honor because there's limited real estate available in these crawls at the bottom, and it's a huge pain for me to have to change it. So if I actually take the time to put something down there in that crawl, it's very important to me. So Tennessee signed a long snapper. Miami lost to Louisiana Tech and FIU. These are things that matter.
I guess I'm just surprised that although long snapper is clearly not the most popular or well-known position on a football team, every team has them, and you have to have them, and they're important. So I just figure all of these professional football experts that we deal with out here every day would know that every football team has, to my knowledge, has a long snapper scholarship.
Yeah. And you know what it is about the long snapper? I think the more of a team's fans that know the name of a long snapper, the better the odds that he's terrible. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, you want to not know, like, you want to, like, just forget about him. Like, the only reason anyone really ever talk is if he just keeps screwing everything up, right? God, this guy again snapped the ball over the punter's head again. What is that, 6 times this year? Didn't you know that guy's name, right? I couldn't tell you. I couldn't tell you who snapped unless it was Trey Hill, our regular center. I couldn't tell you who Georgia's long snapper was this year. I couldn't tell you. I have no clue.
If it hadn't been for Will Albright, I'd be the same way.
Yeah.
I mean,
so I think that's one of the. It's like out of sight, out of mind thing. Like, the less you have to talk about your long snapper, the better. Because if you talk about him, it's probably going to be because it's like if you go to ESPN.com and click on college football, or YahooSports.com, whatever, and click on college football in June, and you see your team's name in a headline, it's not good.
That's an every year thing for Georgia.
Oh my God, I dread it.
Tennessee,
I dread
a lot of years.
From the time the spring game ends to the time summer camp starts. Every morning I come out here, I have 2 or 3 different places I go to look up college football news or headlines or whatever, and I cross one finger while I'm clicking on stuff with the mouse with the other, saying, please don't let UGA or Georgia or anything like that pop up in any headline on any of these sites I'm about to look at, because if you hear any information about your team, like from the time spring ball ends till June, it's not good. Someone has got arrested, someone has got hurt, someone has got kicked off the team, whatever. It's just never good news. You don't want to hear anything during that time of year, and that's how I feel about long snappers. I don't want to have any discussion about the long snapper, because to me that means he's doing his job. The more people are talking about it, chances are worse off you are, unless, of course, you're Tennessee, in which case we celebrate those types of things.
Well, when you punt a lot, the long snapper position automatically becomes near the top of the list of important topics.
Speaking of punt a lot, let me just take a second here and plug the Uncle Lou Superlative Awards show, which will be coming tomorrow. I'm doing the Your Season is Over video today, bowl edition. So all the teams that lost their bowl game will be featured in the video today. Tomorrow I'm doing the Uncle Lou Superlative Awards, and one of the categories this year is like the funniest thing I saw, or I haven't quite figured out the name yet, and I have to go back and look what I named it last year, but I gave it to Tennessee last year, and you probably remember this, BVD. During the Georgia-Tennessee game last year, Tennessee punted 6 times in their first 3 possessions. Do you remember that?
I thought you were going to say Tennessee punted 6 times in their first possession. That's the way it felt.
First 3 possessions.
Yeah.
There was like twice when you went to punt that you had to punt like 3 times, like offsides one time, false start one time. It was crazy, and for punter that was alarming.
I can honestly admit that I do not remember that.
Yeah, it was last year. It was 2018.
Tried to put a lot of those past year losses out of my mind.
I understand. I completely understand.
There's only room for so much. There's only space for so many memories in a brain like mine, so you have to prioritize.
Well, I think I have tried to waste as much time as I can. There's clearly only one reason why anyone is watching this show this morning, and it has nothing to do with the Worst of the Worst playoffs or the Uncle Lou Superlative Awards or Uncle Lou or Tennessee's long snapper or none of that. The only reason anyone is here today,
here we go,
is for you to regale us with tales of pizza porn. So the floor is yours, sir. I've got my popcorn ready. Right now, I'm just a viewer right now.
You remember the other day, well, actually it was last week, I because I forget. I forget what even got us talking about this. I think it had something to do. I asked you a question about either weird jobs you've had or odd, something like that. So I was racking my brain trying to figure out how we even got to pizza porn to begin with. Um, and it was most definitely you that wanted to know about this stuff. So you people want to know. So I just hope you're not disappointed because the topic, the title pizza porn can go so many different directions. And
It means something totally different for Jim Chaney, doesn't it?
oh Lord. Oh, and the athletic director, forgot his name, the UGA athletic director several years ago that got in trouble.
Yeah.
Or no, maybe it was Arkansas. I don't know. Anyway, so yeah, you guys can imagine when you deliver pizza, a lot, I mean a lot of strange things can happen. And I think what you asked me that day was offers I got, um, any strange offers I got, and that of course led to people offering sex for pizza. The man, the weirdest thing that ever happened to me delivering pizza, and there was a lot of them. Keep in mind, this is a tourist town that I worked in. Most everybody here has been to Pigeon Forge, Gatlinburg, Sevierville, that area. It's just mile after mile of hotel after hotel, just thousands of hotel rooms. And in the summertime, all of those hotel rooms are packed full, but there's also a lot of cabins in the Smoky Mountains. Tons of cabin companies, and believe it or not, those people eat pizza as well. And we had a cabin company, I think it was Eagles Ridge or something like that, back behind our pizza store, and that was the place that we most frequently delivered to the cabins. And so I take a pizza up to this. The cabin name and number doesn't matter, obviously, but I take the pizza up there. I knock on the door, nothing. So I wait a couple of seconds. I knocked on the door like 6 or 7 times, and I was getting ready to turn around and leave. And all of a sudden, I heard, the door creak open, and what amounted to a little old lady. Hang on, took me a minute to get to the door. So I go back up to the door, and here's this lady. She had to be 70 years old, Lou. If she was 70, she was 80. Had her hair all did up, how women like to did their hair up. Had enough makeup on to make Tammy Faye Baker jealous, and had a bathrobe on. And so I turned around, walked back up there, and she said she apologized, for making me wait so long, and asked me if I would like to step inside. Well, I had a personal rule: never go inside when you're delivering pizza. Never, ever. For some odd reason, this day I felt sorry for this lady, so I went inside. She starts immediately giving me a sob story about how she'd lost her husband some odd many years ago, and how life had just become so depressing and lonely for her. And it turned out that she owned several cabins up in there. Well, to get past all of the stuff that she talked about that day, this woman, this sweet, hurt, lonely old lady, offered her cabin. Yes, she offered to give me her cabin if I would have sex with her that night.
Hmm.
Can you imagine?
So,
I mean,
how was your trip to the cabin?
well, clearly, obviously, I didn't go through with it, or I'd be living in a cabin in the Smoky Mountains, right?
That's right.
But this poor lady, man, I mean, I didn't, I mean, what do you say to that? I mean, I didn't laugh, although I was dying on the inside. And she just, after she made that offer, she stood there looking at me for a few minutes. Well, it seemed like minutes. And she said, I am dead serious. I will give you this cabin if you will have sex with me right now. And beyond that, I really don't remember what else I said to her other than thank you. I swear I don't even think I collected money for the pizza. I think I just gave her the pizza and left. And there was so many unbelievable things that happened. I don't know if I'm guessing you probably never delivered pizza before, Lou,
No.
but it is probably the most fun, definitely the most lucrative, believe it or not, job I've ever had. I made great money delivering pizza in Pigeon Forge in that area because people on vacation, they throw money at you, and cabins, by the way.
Now,
But the
when something like that happens, whether it's that or something else that's just really weird, or I don't know, maybe someone's rude, whatever, and then you get back to the pizza place, right, where you work,
mhm.
do you walk in and right away you know, oh my God, you're not gonna believe what just happened to me, or is it just I'm never mentioning that again. Like, I'm just wondering, like, was there like a do not deliver list that accumulates over time at pizza places where, and maybe it's not for the reason from your story, maybe it's other reasons where finally places just go, you know what, we're not delivering there anymore. And there's
There's
just
def-
like a do not deliver list, like your black ball, we're not delivering to you anymore. Last time we went there, you hit the delivery driver in the face with a sausage, whatever it might be. Is there like a list there of you're off limits? We're not. That's it. You're blackballed. Do they do that?
Oh, there's definitely lists. I mean, I've worked at just about every major pizza place that you can work at delivering pizzas way back then, and there's definitely a list. And the only list that was a result of that day was all of the drivers said, we are not delivering to that cabin ever. So anytime that lady called for a pizza, I had to take it if I was there. And so yeah, it got pretty. Eventually, she stopped ordering,
Yeah.
and I don't know if it's because she died or because she gave up on sex with BVD. I don't know, um, but there's not tons of stories like that. But I saw plenty of naked women. I can't count the times women would come to the door naked, and it's probably actually an alarming number of women that would come to the door naked. But
What about men though?
I was going to get to that. I was saving that one for last because that was whew,
God,
that's a delivery you do not want.
it had to be an old guy too.
Multiple. Keep in mind, this is a tourist. This is a tourist town. Unfortunately, I've seen every size, shape, length, and color of scrotum sac and male penis than I ever thought I would have to see just simply by delivering freaking pizzas.
Nick says BVD is a home wrecker.
It's funny. It's funny you mentioned that, Nick. So it's another cabin. I go to this other cabin one day, and actually it was about dusk. I guess it was really close to dark, and I knocked on the door, and the blinds were up, and I could see in the main part of the cabin, but because of the time of day it was, I couldn't see how the person was dressed or not. I just kept seeing this figure walking back and forth, like from what must have been the kitchen to the bedroom to whatever. She kept walking by 3 or 4 times, and finally she came to the door. And when I opened the door, she was stark naked, butt naked, not a stitch of clothing on her. And this woman was beautiful. And I don't know if it's because the woman was just beautiful. She had like an amazing body. And so I was dumbfounded, just standing there, basically staring at her tits, excuse me, her breasts. And she didn't have any money in her hand. So I was thinking, oh shit, how's this going to go? So I found out she was drunk because she was kind of staggering around. And she said, hang on, I've got to go get the money. I'll be right back. Left the door open, starts walking all the way, walking around the living room and everything. Long story short on that one, eventually I got the money, left, and she ended up calling like 2 or 3 more times that weekend and ordering pizza. And she asked for me. She asked for the same delivery guy. And I'm thinking, why the hell is this woman asking for me? It's not like I had sex with her. It's not like I'm a Chippendale or anything like that. But I think it was the third time I went back to that cabin. She came immediately to the door. She was butt naked again. And all this time, I didn't know if there was anybody there, if she's there by herself, if she had a bunch of girlfriends, if she's married or what. Well, she buzzed again, of course. Every time I went, she was intoxicated. And that day, as soon as she opened the door, she just kind of threw the door open, standing there naked, and she said, "Are you ever going to comment on my breasts?" And I'm like, well, my jaw hit the floor, and I said, the only thing I could think of to say is, "Well, they are pretty nice." And she said, "You want to touch them?"
Oh.
And as soon as she said that, a voice from the bedroom, I guess it was the bedroom, said rather loudly, "If you touch my wife's tits, I will shoot you both." I think I dropped the pizza. I don't remember. But I definitely know I didn't collect money that day. They got a free pizza.
Wow.
And it's the honest to God's truth, man. Jesus, I don't think I've ever been so scared in my life after being so excited.
Yeah.
Because as soon as she asked that, I was like, hell yeah, I want to touch him. I was thinking I'm finally going to actually get to have sex with the delivery, Instead, I get threatened to get shot. That's just my kind of luck, though.
Yeah.
But yeah, you asked about the men. Those are the bad ones, of course. When you show up and knock on a door and a door comes open, it's a naked dude standing there. I guess your question's probably going to be, what do you do?
Well,
I still don't know. There is no right answer for what do you do when a naked man opens the door on a pizza delivery. I mean, clearly, I never entered any of those rooms. And after the old woman cabin thing, I don't think I ever went into definitely another cabin, But those are just, you know what? I could probably, if I sat down and thought about it and wrote them down, I could probably write a book on crazy shit that happens to delivery guys.
Logan Jackson, thank you for the super chat, sir. He says, you ready for this comment, BVD? Logan Jackson, thank you for the super chat. He says, Lou.
That's great.
That's it. That's all he said.
That's probably your favorite super chat comment ever.
I guess my only real reply to that would be Logan.
Oh, yeah.
But thank you for the super chat, Logan Jackson. You're good people. I think didn't he win the T-shirt on Monday? I think that's the guy that won the T-shirt on Monday. That name looks familiar. Know. He did email me, by the way. So he'll be getting himself a shirt sometime in the next 2 or 3 months. I am terrible. I either need to stop doing giveaways, or I've got to get a lot better at. I don't know what it is. I feel like I get behind or something. I don't know. I'm terrible at it. I still have shirts from December that I haven't sent out.
That's not good, Lou.
I know. This time of year, I'm great at it. Like January through, maybe that's what I should do. From now on, I'm only going to do giveaways in the off season. I swear, I feel like I don't have. During the season, like I almost feel like I can't ever even concentrate on what I'm doing now because I'm already thinking about what I have to do next and after that and tomorrow and next. Like I just feel like I don't have enough. Like I don't have enough time. I'm not making excuses. It's my fault. I should be better about it. That's something I got to get better about. So if you're one of those people who's owed a shirt in December, it's coming. I'll make that. In fact, I'll make that my mission. I'm sending everything that I owe is being sent out or ordered, whatever the case may be, depending on what it is, by this weekend, period. So
I guess there's no hope of me getting my shirt anytime soon then, is there?
What, are you owed one too?
Yeah.
For what?
I don't know. I just thought I'd say that. See if I
No,
can get
no,
a free
yeah,
shirt out of
don't
you.
try to. I do not, because I have a list, so don't try to trick me with that. I do have a list.
Mosey B
So
wants a BVD pizza delivery shirt. I might have to continue uh, some more of these pizza stories over on my channel where I
yeah.
can cuss and
Well, he wants a BVD pizza delivery shirt. There may be some people in the comment section who just want a BVD pizza delivery.
that's what I was thinking.
If you know
And
what I mean.
I sure hope Mosey B is a female if they're wanting a delivery anyway.
Oh, Nick says you owe him a pizza, so I don't want to hear anything from you about me owing somebody a shirt, BVD. If Nick says
I'm
you owe
kind
him a
of
pizza, so
curious about that one myself. I'm older than you, Lou. I've got almost 10 years on you, so I can always sometimes defer to like memory issues and stuff like that when people say I owe them stuff. Really? I forgot about that. Sorry.
I'm terrible at it. I mean, just the worst. But it's only during the season. But I give a lot of stuff away. That's part of the problem too. But anyway, no one cares about my excuses. But Logan Jackson, thank you again, sir. He says I just wanted to give you some money, but I didn't know what to say that pertained to the current conversation. And yes, I won the LouTube shirt. Yeah, I thought that was you, sir. And I hope you got it figured out. I haven't checked my email today. I sent him an email, BVD, after he emailed me like I told him to and say, email me, I'll get your shirt or whatever. So he emailed me. I sent him an email back that says, just click this link, it'll take you to the Uncle Lou's shirt store or whatever, and just tell me which shirt you want, size and address to mail it and all that.
And
then he sends me an email back, which of course I didn't get till like the next day or something, because I just, I only check my email a couple times a day. I never attached a link to the email. So
when you're
click
talking
this link,
t-shirts,
but there is no link. But I think we got it straightened out now, so should be good.
Size does matter in this instance too, Lou.
Size does matter. Yep. And you know what? I get a lot of people, lots of people. Well, do they make LouTube shirts in 4X? Well, yeah, they do. 5X, yes, they do. But
EDP is proof that they make shirts in any imaginable size.
Yeah,
Even comforter size.
Yeah, some of his jersey unboxings or whatever, where he gets a new jersey, I'm like, there's a joke like about wearing a curtain or so. When he takes a shirt out of the box and holds that thing up, it would cover some standard size windows. Like, I'm 100% serious, and I like EDP.
Yeah,
I think
yeah.
EDP. I can't figure out if EDP is a genius or just real lucky. I don't know which it is. One of the two is true though. He's either a genius and knows what he's doing, or he's just got extremely lucky. But he has struck gold.
I think it's like our buddy 8 Humps. They get lucky, and then that's when you find out that they're a genius. So I think
yes, that's right.
EDP got lucky, and then we found out what a genius he is.
Yeah.
Same with you.
He was on Tosh.0.
Mm-hmm. Was he actually on the show, or did they just show one of his videos?
I think they just showed one of his videos. I think.
Oh, okay. Because Lou, I am the original YouTube punching bag for shows like that. You are aware of that, right?
Yeah. Run through the list again. There's probably a lot of people that don't know, but
Oh God, I can't.
You've been all over the place too.
You're testing my memory again. I know there was Fox Sports News, of course, and I would pay somebody if they could find that video again, because I can't find it anywhere. So the one where the guy came to my house and interviewed me over the Kiffin video, and can't find that video anywhere. There was some sports show that was clearly a hit because it lasted about a month with John Daly on it. I don't know if you remember that one. He was on there making fun of me one day over and all of this is over the Kiffin video. I can't remember all. There was 4 or 5 different shows, national shows or whatever, that ended up having that video on it. And one radio host, dang it, I can't remember his name too, Jay something. You know Jay something, right? He hosts. He's an actor, but he hosts a radio show in New York. And me being the sensitive guy that I am, this guy gets a hold of me and said he wants to have me on his radio show and talk about the Lane Kiffin video. Well, clearly, anytime somebody wants to talk to you about something like that, they're going to make fun of you. I mean, that's their only purpose for having you on, is to make fun of you. And I made those guys promise me that they wouldn't, get me on there and rip me and make an embarrassment of me. And of course, that's what they did. So, yeah, anytime a national TV show or radio show contacts you about a YouTube video, you can pretty much just go ahead and plan on getting made fun of.
Yeah, they're not contacting us because they're impressed with our, post game analysis.
Yeah. Although you're really good at that, Lou.
Stop it.
You are really good at that.
Dennis Wilson wants to know who won the UNCLELOU Bowl Mania challenge, so I just pulled it up. The username is Dogs on Top.
I recognize that name.
I'll be emailing that individual. That'll be another person that wins a shirt that they won't get for 3 months.
I guess the question would be, on top of what?
Well, in this case, he's on top of the UNCLELOU Bowl Mania challenge. According to this, he got 100% of the games right. I'm going to have to look into this. This seems like a Russian hack job. How could somebody possibly have picked every single bowl game correctly?
It's not. It's not.
There's 4 people who picked 32 out of 33 correctly.
On something like something of yours, or an actual...
You know how ESPN does the Bowl Mania?
Yeah.
Yeah, I created my own group on there and put the link up on a couple of videos. So it's like 500 people joined through the channel, and it's a private group.
That's impressive.
Yeah. 33 out of 30. It says percentage 100%, so I'm assuming that means he got all 33. I don't know how that works. His total points are 33. That was good enough for first place. My total points were 26, so not terrible. But that put me in 91st place. There was a lot of people with like 31, 30, 29, 28. Now, third place, who have Clemson played? Came in third. Some of these names, BVD. Who has Clemson played? Tied for second. What other names are on here? Southern Cal's fake title from 2003.
I don't know if you saw this comment last night on your show last night. Somebody had a great name, of course, and you mentioned the chats and all that. And I left you a comment saying we need to do like a top 10 or some kind of list of greatest chat section names.
Oh yeah, that would be great. There's several nominees on here. Lou's new computer tied for 19th. Ain't Played Nobody tied for 31st. James Coley's offense tied for 31st. Here's a name for you, BVD. I don't know if you'll recognize this or make the connection. Cormac the Magician. Do you remember that?
Cormac.
That Georgia Tech fan.
Yeah. That's the video maker, former video maker.
Who's currently a student at Auburn, by the way. So
he upgraded.
Tua is a bust. Also tied for 31st in the UNCLELOU College Football Mania poll. Oh my God! Some of these names. Let's see.
What's the best troll name you can think of that you ever came up with in one of your hundreds and hundreds of troll accounts that you obviously have, according to everyone in the history of time?
Well, I don't have a bunch of troll accounts, but every single live show I ever do, like almost every time I glance at it, sometimes like the comments are hilarious. You get funny comments all the time, but sometimes I don't even get to the comment because the name is so funny, you know?
Yeah.
And I like
Yeah.
that. Like I encourage that. I think it's hilarious. Like I mean, anybody can go into a YouTube comment section and type in "you're gay" and why you are, that kind of thing. That's
Right.
not funny. It's not creative. But when somebody like puts some thought or effort either into the name they choose or even the comment that they make, like I don't know. I get that trolling has like the word trolling has a negative connotation to it. I don't think it has to be though. You can troll and it's hilarious and it's I don't. It's like these people who say I don't want any trolls here. Well, just shut your channel down. I mean, you can't get rid of trolls. You just can't. So I don't understand this whole idea of block all the trolls, get rid of all the trolls. You're never gonna do that. You're never gonna do that. That thumb guy or whatever from Oregon. Yeah, you talking about having an account? Dude's got 200-300 accounts. I mean, you can't beat people. There's nothing you can do.
Yeah, that's amazing in itself.
The only real weapon against any troll is the ability to ignore. That's really it.
Yeah.
You just don't pay them any attention at all. They'll go away. And so I do the opposite. If I see a troll name or a troll comment that I can appreciate, I think it's funny, whatever, I'll give attention to that because I enjoy that, whether it's on this channel or other channels when I see funny things like that. And again, I'm not talking about the thing like anybody can just show up and type basically a mean comment in the comment section. That's not trolling. That's not trolling. A really, really good troll job, sometimes people won't even... That's when it's really... Like, if people have to sit there and go, wait a minute, like, that could be real. Like, that... Like, troll jobs should have a little bit of truth to them, but anyway, I don't want enough troll lessons, I guess. I don't
That's
know.
like the people that... I can just envision some people, and I've done this myself before, sitting there, they want to say something to make fun of you, and you just know it's one of these people that sat there for minutes trying to think of the most funny thing they can think of to say about you. Like with me, I still have people leave comments that just simply say, "You're fat,"
Right.
and I'm like, you had an hour to come up with something, and that's all you got.
Right.
I mean, I know you get that all the time with some of your callers even too. They sit on hold for forever and they get on there and they say just something totally stupid.
They'll wait on hold 35 minutes. Yeah, good morning, you're on with Uncle Lou. And then they just scream the N-word and hang up. And I'm like...
Or say nothing at all.
Yeah, like you waited 30 minutes for that? Like, come on, do better. And then again, just like with the funny screen names or whatever, I get calls all the time that are clearly troll jobs, but they're hilarious.
Mm-hmm.
And I love, that's great. That's great. In fact, I wish I had more of that. I mean, like, let's be real. No one is watching Paul Feinbaum because they're curious about what he thinks about LSU versus Clemson.
Right.
No, they're watching Paul Feinbaum for the callers. That's what makes it. Tyrant, thank you for the super chat. He says Penn State Survival Simulator. Yeah, that could be a new ride coming to Universal Studios.
The Penn State Survival Simulator.
Yeah. Oh, that's right. I forgot, BVD. You don't keep up with college football news for some particular reason. I haven't quite figured out yet. But
I don't keep up with all of it. Let's say that.
Yeah. Well, I think you said you're able to see the show while you're also on the show. So
yeah, I can see it. I just
all right. Well,
obviously I'm
former Penn State player files federal lawsuit against James Franklin and Penn State for hazing. Isaiah Humphries filed a federal lawsuit Monday. Coach James Franklin and former teammate Damian Barber. The suit alleges that Humphries was subject to hazing brought on by Barber, linebacker Micah Parsons, defensive lineman, blah, 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 and linebacker, blah, blah, blah. And the coaching staff was aware of the hazing and did nothing to protect Humphries. The allegations include instances when the named players collectively orchestrated, directed, and facilitated a campaign to harass and haze underclassmen on the Penn State football team. The hazing alleged in the suit includes the participants stating that they intended to make the underclassmen their bitch because this is prison. The participants allegedly referenced former defensive coordinator Jerry Sandusky. This is where they messed up. I'm not going to get into hazing. Is it right or wrong? There is some amount of hazing is like trolling. Okay? There is some amount of hazing that is acceptable, depending on what it is and how you do it.
Almost expected.
Yeah, making the freshmen bring you a sandwich in the cafeteria or whatever. I mean, that is what it is. You can't be doing stuff like this here, anywhere. Just the culture that we live in now, but especially at Penn State. The participants allegedly referenced former defensive coordinator Jerry Sandusky, who's serving a 30 to 60-year prison term for sexually abusing children, by saying, "I am going to Sandusky you." You can't do that. Now, here's what happened. This player that's suing, I'm sure, is not really mad about this. He's I don't know what the story is. No playing time. I don't know. And so he said, "That's it. I'm mad. I'm suing. And on top of that, I'm going to tell everybody about all these Sandusky jokes y'all kept making." But this is good because of this. This is going to get a lot of attention.
Oh yeah.
And and if I don't know how it could be proven. I don't know if there's emails or text or what. But if it's proven, if this kid has text messages where he was messaging the coaches saying they're doing this to me and that to me and Sandusky this and Sandusky that, and the coaches did nothing, then this story could get a lot worse for Penn State. But it already looks bad. The perception of this is just really, really bad. Again, if this even was happening anywhere this was happening and someone was telling the underclassmen, "We're going to Sandusky you," that would be a huge story. But the fact that this is happening at Penn State, this is bad because I know that Penn State fans, players, coaches, admin, all that's there now, I know none of them condone child abuse or sexual abuse, whatever. I get that. But way too many excuses were made by fans in particular about Joe Paterno and some of the other. Sometimes you have to step back from your fandom and go, okay, this is 100% wrong. There is no but. There is no second part to that. This is just 100% wrong. Sandusky should be in jail. Joe Paterno should have been fired. He should have done more. He should have known better. All of that is true, and there's too many excuses that have been made, and I maybe that has led to players there now thinking it's okay to go around and make these Sandusky.
Is there the possibility
that not a good look?
Is there any possibility that there's players there that don't even know about that? I mean, there's some time now between the Sandusky thing and now. I wouldn't imagine there's anybody at that school that doesn't know about that. But is that and it doesn't make anything happening here right? I'm just curious.
Clearly they know because they're referencing it.
No, I'm talking about the victims. Not the ones getting hazed. That's what I'm talking about. Yeah, clearly the ones making the threat know about it.
Yeah. I certainly hope that everyone up there hasn't just pretended that none of that happened. I hope everyone's still aware and remembers.
And you mentioned proof. They may not even need any proof in this instance. They may be so willing to put this, well, I mean, it's not going under the rug. It's already out there, but they're probably going to be wanting to get this behind them so quick. Proof won't even be needed, they're going to be making an offer quick, I would say. And I missed the beginning of that. Is it multiple people that are filing the suit, or
Well,
just one?
right now just one, but as I'm sort of reading through this article while you were talking, it says Humphreys, who's the attorney that's representing this one player.
Okay.
Or no, Humphreys is the player. He's being represented, it says, by Philadelphia attorney Stephen Marino, who says that this incident is not isolated to just his client.
Oh, boy.
So I don't know if other people have come forward, maybe privately, and told the attorney, yeah, this happened to me, or yes, I witnessed this, or what, I don't know. But I don't know how. I don't know what's going to happen here clearly, but I think it's worth keeping an eye on. And this is an example, I think, of how, if something like this happened 10 years ago at a different school, it wouldn't be right, but it wouldn't be as big of a deal. But because you got Sandusky mentioned, and it's happening at Penn State, and it's just kind of again, it doesn't matter whether you think it's right or wrong and all that with, the whole Me Too thing and all that. We go through certain time periods where, like, certain things are getting a ton of attention at that particular time for some reason. And if you happen to step in a pile of doo-doo while that particular issue happens to be the current social justice issue of the day or whatever, it usually doesn't work out well. And I don't know. This is going to be worth keeping an eye on there, I think.
Yeah, it's bad all the way around.
Happens,
I guess they're going to try and take care of this as soon as possible before a dozen other kids come out,
Yeah.
And
I don't expect Franklin to get fired over this or anything. I don't think it rises to that level, but I think probably some accountability is going to have to be taken somewhere on some level. We'll see what that ends up meaning. T2Y exclusive. Thank you for the super chat, sir. He says some trolls are like herpes; they never go away. Whee! Yeah, and you know what it is? It's usually the ones you want to go away that refuse to. Like, the ones that are trolling the right way, like, they don't stick around that long. But the "you're gay" guy, he'll make 1 million accounts and he'll be there every day to remind you that why you are, because they can't, spell
Right.
it. And half the time they're spelling it wrong on purpose because they then get a kick out of other people saying, "Oh, you don't even know how to spell your."
Those are professional trolls.
Yeah. And I guess there's a few of those around. I don't know. Nick says Uncle Lou is gay. GAI.
I see that, and my vision being what it is, I thought that said Uncle Lou is gal.
Here you go, Nick. Here's one for you here.
Speaking of names while you're typing that,
Uh-huh.
Brahms Middle Finger, that's one of my favorite.
Yeah, that's a good one too.
Chat names too.
Yeah. Yeah, those are always funny when people will come up with a name that's like relevant to some sort of college football related story that's going on now. Like for a while, I was getting a lot of screen names that were things about Dan Mullen's wife or whatever.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, somebody just asked me if I ever delivered a pizza to Dan Mullen's wife.
Oh God, yeah. Or someone had one in here last week, Mike Leach's pet Sasquatch. And I almost fell out of the chair when and I couldn't tell you what he commented. And he might have left 100 comments. I couldn't tell you not one of his comments because I never got. I couldn't stop laughing. It was on a live show. I think it was when I was thanking people at the end, and I'm just, thank you, Ultimate Troll Tyrants, Mike Taylor, Cajunamics, blah 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 blah, Mike Leach's pet Sasquatch, and I just literally like. I had to just end the show. I couldn't stop laughing, It was so funny.
There was another Sasquatchian name last night that you referenced near the end of the show. It was a big, long name. I can't remember.
Oh, yeah, that's right. And it had Sasquatch at the end of it. Yeah.
That was a great one.
Yeah. Slim Shady, thank you for the super chat, sir. He says, all the trolls wish they were as good as me. They want my Troll of the Year award. We should have like a Well, I think we tried to do something like that one year before, a Troll of the Year award or something, but it was so hard to. How do you
All
pick? I don't
that
know how you
does
pick
is
a winner.
all that does is bring out all of the horrible trolls.
Oh yeah, because they all think they win.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It just clogs up the freeway with bad trolldom.
Yeah. And then
we got enough of that already.
And then when they lose, they go, "Ha ha ha! I didn't even want to win. I was just trolling you."
I had a mouthful of Coke when you said that. I guess that's better than a nose full of Coke. Didn't say that. Will the real Miami please stand up? Speaking of the real Miami, what have you heard from your boy lately? Anything? Or is that officially done?
Who?
Zoe.
Oh. I haven't heard nothing. As far as I know, I haven't. I mean, I filmed that video in his house the other day, but other than that.
Yeah. You were also in the Hippies Foothills trailer too.
Yes. So.
Vodka drinker. That's that boy right there. Vodka drinker, one of my favorite people in the comments for a long time now. I'm kind of worried about my boy Vodka drinker. He's sporadic at best on here.
Now, what do you think about this, BVD? Listen to this. General Shadow Man. Here's his comment. Good morning, Uncle Lou. How you been? It's been a while. Hashtag LSU. Shadow Man, I'll congratulate you. However, it's not really the same, is it? Like, literally, it's real easy to show up now, but still, congratulations, and for all I know, you've been busy or in prison. I don't know, but
is this someone? You may not want to answer this. Honestly, General Shadow Man, is this someone that you are very familiar with that's been gone, or?
I do recognize the name, and I haven't seen it in a while. It's just always funny to me. I mean, because you know what the joke, anytime a team wins the national title, what's the joke? Oh, here come all the whoever fans, here come all the Clemson fans that have been hiding for 10 years or whatever. And, like, at least this guy comes out and admits it, Yep, hadn't been around in a while, but LSU won the national title 2 days ago, so here I am. Good morning. That's almost better, It's like people get mad at when someone, like, does something that's obviously racist or even admits to being racist and people get mad. I think that's great. That's way better than people who try to hide it,
when it's so obvious, too.
Right, yeah. So, like, this guy comes right out and says it. So, you got to give him credit for that. Yep, been gone. Didn't have any interest. Wanted to make sure. Didn't know what was going to happen. LSU might have lost. I don't know. But they won 15-0 national champions. So, I'm back.
Well, our boy General Shadow Man now is insisting that he'll show up win or lose.
Oh yeah, and I'm sure that's the case. I didn't mean for it to sound like I was singling him out necessarily in particular, but you do get a lot of like I promise you, and you know this, BVD, there will be a lot more LSU fans commenting on your channel for the next 8, 9, 10 months.
Oh sure.
Than there was for the last 8, 9, or 10 months. I mean that's just. I mean, that's just the way it goes.
I think Nick just left one of my new favorite racist comments. It says, Uncle Lou is racist because he's not black.
Guilty as charged, I guess. Clearly not black. Slim Shady, thank you, sir. He says, now LSU will fall apart with Brady and Burrow gone. I don't know that they'll fall apart, and I guess that depends on your definition of fall apart. LSU's, look at the way they recruit. Even before they were winning a national title, a bad year for LSU was 8 wins. So I don't think they're falling off the face of the earth. But, and I said this last night to an LSU fan that called in, LSU fans better just get used to this idea. But there aren't going to be very many people outside of LSU fans who are going to buy any type of hype for LSU next year. You can't do what LSU did for just 1 year and then lose the two people that were primarily responsible for that and expect everyone to just automatically buy in again. It's just not going to happen. People are going to have to see it again. You lost Burrow and you lost Brady. So people are going to have to – you're going to have to – because Oklahoma, right, BVD, new quarterback every single year. Doesn't matter. 45 points a game, one of the best offenses in America, win the Big 12, Heisman Trophy candidates, right? It's just plug and play. And LSU thinks that's them now. Lincoln Riley's been at Oklahoma for a long time. He worked under Bob Stoops there. So this isn't a case where, Oklahoma brought a guy in for 1 year and taught Oklahoma how to run that offense. How much of Joe Brady wore off on the rest of the offensive staff going forward? No one knows the answer to that. And maybe LSU will come out next year with whatever quarterback they end up going with and score 40 points again. And if they do, then okay. Well, we'll talk about that then. But not very many people outside of LSU are going to be expecting that to happen heading into next season. And I guarantee you when the preseason polls come out, there's going to be a lot of teams ranked ahead of LSU for that reason, for that very reason.
I'm just surprised at the number of not just LSU fans, but the number of people in general that are surprised that Brady is leaving. I mean, why is that such a shock to people?
Yeah,
I don't get that.
Yeah, it shouldn't be a shock. You got him from the NFL. He's made it very clear that he prefers the NFL. He doesn't like recruiting. You can be Bill Belichick. Would probably fail miserably in college. Why? Recruiting. Like, some people don't want to, imagine if you were a millionaire and you had to sit in a 16-year-old's house and beg him to come to your school or something. You know what I mean? Like, some people just aren't into recruit. Some people, in the NFL, you probably work 80, 90 hours a week. 7 or 8 months a year in the NFL and never see your family and stuff like that. But 3 or 4 months after, like right now, you got some time. You don't have that in college. It's 365 days recruiting on the road. It's never ending. It's a 3-year door now. They're there for player there for 3 years, gone. You got to replace them. It's not like the NFL. You can lock a guy up for 10 years. New England hadn't had to worry about a quarterback since the 90s.
How do you think you would like recruiting if you were a coach?
I would hate it.
See, that's my favorite part of being an offensive line coach like I am. I love the recruiting part of it. And if you're just tuning in to the show, folks, many people didn't know this. I am a professional offensive line coach.
Yes.
And I've revealed that today.
Established that earlier.
Yep. But seriously, though, I think I would – I say this now, I think I would enjoy that part of it. Trying to convince someone to come to your institution would be that'd be fun for me.
Slim Shady, who's a Miami fan, says Miami is not going 15-0. You know what, Slim? I'm getting a little bit tired of your realistic comments day after day. I like Slim. He's a good guy. He calls into the night show a lot too, and he is. And you hear from. Here's the thing. It's like what's that expression? Like the squeaky wheel gets to grease or whatever. We tend to focus on like the worst of what we see, like I do anyway. Like I'll say all the time, man, these Miami fans are out of their mind and blah blah blah. It's never all the fans, It's never all of them. But I doubt anybody wants to watch me make a video about how realistic Slim Shady is.
Probably not.
They'd much rather me make a video about these delusional Miami fans who think they're winning the ACC next year for no reason. So.
I must have missed something. Yeah. Carson B says, just don't give them any free hoodies, BVD. Is that a shot at you, Uncle Lou?
I don't know.
You think?
It's possible. I don't know.
And apparently apparently you owe some people some clothing apparel that they haven't received yet.
Oh yeah, the
I'm
list
just
is
wondering.
the list is a mile long. The list is a mile long. But we're gonna get that handled and straightened out though.
Yeah, you'll get on top of that real quick.
Yeah, as soon as I get a new sound engineer hired, I think the next hire I'm going to make is going to be like a personal assistant, and they're going to handle that. They're going to handle my email. They're going to handle all the stuff that's supposed to get sent out, all that kind of stuff.
Speaking of personal assistants, I know you're a Bad Dog fan like I am. These people that have the running scoreboards on their streams, is that explain that one to me? I mean, because if you watch Bad Dog, there's no way that he's typing in that score every time somebody scores. There's just no way. Does he have someone actually there with him keeping up with the score? Is there a program that I'm not aware of that will keep up with scores like that?
I've done
fascinates
that.
me.
When I've done games and I want to have the score on the screen, I do a display capture. Like here, I'll give you an example. I'll click on scores here. Let me show you what I'll do.
I mean, obviously, if you're wanting to do that for football, that would be no problem. You can type in the score as it changes.
Well, that's a pain. So here's ESPN.
For basketball,
here's ESPN.com. And I know you're on a little bit of a delay, but you'll see it. So this is ESPN.com. I just went to NCAA football and clicked scores. And so the scores are going to come up. But you could do this for any sport. And if there was football games on right now, this updates in real time, right?
Oh, okay.
So what I would do is, because you use OBS too, right? So you can add a source called display capture. Now, when you do that, it's gonna capture your entire screen, which is what you're seeing now.
Right.
But then you can crop it if you press Alt on your keyboard. You can crop the sides.
I actually figured that one out.
You can crop the sides in. So I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do a rough version of it. So here you go. You see how I just cropped it in, and now all it shows is that little scoreboard. You could do something like that.
Okay. Well.
But there might be a program because I know Bad Dog. I don't know how Bad Dog does it. I've seen his too, like the basketball games. I don't know how he does it. There might be a better way, another way, a different way, whatever. I don't know what it is though. That's the way I do when I want to put a score up of a game that's currently going on. Is I'll just crop down the scoreboard on ESPN.com and overlay it onto my webcam feed.
I do, of course. You may or may not know, I do as many of the Tennessee basketball games as I can, and I would like to figure something like that out because people. I mean, I save that when I'm doing those. I save the score almost every time somebody scores, but I think it would be kind of cool to have that feature added on there.
Yeah.
So
I bet there's got to be a way. We could probably find it if we look, or hell, I'll message. Maybe I'll send Bad Dog a message and.
I think I did, but I think I left it as a comment, so I guess I need to text him. He's a busy man. He's a very important man.
He is a busy man, and Uncle Lou is headed to New York in April, and I am gonna try. Here's the problem, and this isn't giving anything away because Bad Dog tells people this, because people, anytime when you live down here, in BVD, I consider where you live to be down here in the South somewhere. Right. And someone says, I'm from New York. What do we assume?
The city.
You're from New York City. Right. He's nowhere near that. He lives in northern New York. And if you know anything about the state of New York, it's a tall state. So it would take a long, and New York is southern of the south, is the south end of the state. So anyway, so he lives a long way away from New York City, but I'm going there. I'm going to New York City in April for like 9 or 10 days. I'm gonna try to figure out a way to. I don't even care for not even about a video. It'd be great to do something like that too, but I would love to go.
So you're going to the city? You're going to the city for 8 or more days, or?
Yeah, New York City.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah. But I wouldn't you love to just eat lunch with Bad Dog? I would.
Oh, yeah.
I would.
Yeah.
He seems like a genuinely nice guy, and I swear to God he swallowed a computer chip or something. Like, the way that he can just spout off stats and things, not even from the current year, but like he can tell you who led the major leagues in home runs in 1994, whatever, named a year. It's just amazing sports knowledge, especially the pro side of things. He's a college football fan too, but I think even Bad Dog would tell you that he's more knowledgeable about pro sports than he is college, whereas the opposite is true for me.
I guess you've noticed that's kind of a regional thing too. It seems like most of the people up north are more into this pro sport.
Yeah,
there's got to be a reason behind that. Maybe we can dig into that sometime down the road.
Yeah. Everyone in the comment section probably knows, too. Vodka Drinker, thank you for the super chat. He says, did you address Odell handing $600 to Jefferson after the game? No, but I don't know what to make of that. Once the game is over and you're a senior, who's going to punish you? So now, if he's handing money to a freshman who's going to be back next year, that's an issue. But handing money to a player, I mean, once that whistle blows, they're never playing for LSU again. So, with that being said, though, I don't know what the NCAA rules and stuff are on that. I have no idea. And I remember when this story first broke after the game, most of what I was hearing from LSU fans is what I just said. Doesn't matter. They're gone. They're going to the NFL. They're not playing anymore anyway, yada, yada, yada. Well, yesterday, that all changed, and I guess, I don't know if it was Odell or someone put out a statement saying the money that he was handing out was fake. So
fake money.
If there's nothing wrong with it, and again, I don't know if there's anything wrong with it or not. I don't personally think there's anything wrong with giving a guy money who's played his last game. I don't see what I don't get it. But that may be against NCAA rules. I don't know. My question now is, why on Tuesday morning, LSU fan was telling everyone it's no big deal, but then Tuesday afternoon, the story changed to, no, it was fake money. So I have no idea. I don't know what to make of that story. I really don't. I have no clue what to make of that or think of that. I really don't.
Maybe I'm just stupid, but I've never understood. I've honestly never understood what the problem is with, boosters, I guess I get it, but a random, unknown, unheard of fan giving one of their favorite college players money.
Yeah.
I don't see why that's a violation. I mean, well, according to the rules, I see why it's a violation.
Yeah. I've kind of looked at it like they used to call it the $100 handshake,
Right.
And I don't know, that was 20 years ago. Maybe now it's the $500 handshake. I don't know, but of course that happens everywhere. Yep. Everywhere. And the NCAA knows that happens. They have never gone after it. They never will. But there's a big difference. There's a big leap from that to what Ole Miss did. You know what I mean? And people try to conflate the two when they're making excuses for Ole Miss or the LSU situation here, whatever. They'll say, like when Ole Miss gets caught buying players and they go, everybody pays players. Yeah, every school has a couple of boosters that'll give a 100-yard running back $100 after the game, or a quarterback that throws the game-winning touchdown $100 after the game. Yes, every school has those people. Not, and I repeat, and this I get so irritated. What's worse, BVD? The conspiracy people who think every game is rigged, but they can't tell you who it's rigged for until the game is over. Whoever wins, that's who it was rigged for. Who's worse? Those people, but they still watch it. Who's worse? Those people or the people that think schools actually give players $100,000, $500,000? This is not happening, people. That is not happening.
Yeah, I don't even see that happening even one school.
A couple of grand to get slid somewhere under the table to a highly rated kid, maybe I could see that happening. The idea that $500,000 or $100,000 could even be hidden enough to the point where it could be given to a 17-year-old and kept a secret in 2019, it's not happening. That stuff is not happening. Jobs given away, yes, I'm sure that happens. Some booster has a company or brother has a company, and now this recruit's dad suddenly has a job. Maybe stuff like that happens, okay? But guess what? How do most people get their job? Through somebody they know. Somebody they know. Most people don't get a job because they are just the most qualified person out of the 100 people that applied. Most people have the job they have right now because of somebody they knew. Whether that job is at McDonald's or whether it's making $100,000 a year at a law firm or a CPA. You have that job because of someone you knew, most likely. So
it's the old saying, it's not what you know, it's who you know.
Yeah. So everybody does it. Yes, every football player can go to a certain restaurant in Athens tomorrow and eat dinner and somehow never get brought a bill for that. I'm sure that happens. Of course that happens. That is not the same as openly buying players. And that's when you see the schools really get in trouble. But what's irritating is a school like Ole Miss will buy players, and then what do their fans say? Well, everybody's doing it. I don't know why they're picking on us. No, not every single team in America has players getting drafted in the first round, and then 5 minutes later they're giving a press conference thanking their college for all the money they gave them. That only happened at Ole Miss.
Yeah.
Okay. What do you expect? Even if the NCAA wanted to look the other way on a lot of things, which I think they do, like I said, they don't go around investigating $100 handshakes. It doesn't happen. $100 handshakes happen all the time. The NCAA is not wasting money or time investigating those things. But if you send a player to the NFL draft and 5 minutes after he gets drafted, he's talking about how much money he was paid while at that school, what do you expect the NCAA to do? Of course they're going to look into that. I mean, they have to.
I wonder who pissed that guy off. And I know exactly who you're talking about. I just can't remember his name. It was the offensive lineman.
Yeah, that had to be like the worst draft night that anyone has ever had. Because if you remember, about 30 minutes before the draft that night, his pictures were leaked of himself wearing the marijuana mask. You remember? With the big long... I don't know enough about marijuana to know how it works, but I guess it was a bong mask or something. I don't know. That got leaked, and so pictures are out of him smoking weed 30 minutes before the draft. He gets drafted anyway, and the first thing he does is give a post-game press conference where he thanks Hugh Freeze at Ole Miss for all the money they gave him. Jesus Christ, what is this guy doing?
Clearly, the weed he was smoking before the draft was some really good shit.
Yeah, right? Jeez, man. God.
Yeah.
Slim Shady, thank you for the super chat. He says, it's funny how when a fan base of your own team disagrees with you, they become the biggest fan police force. Yeah, I know a little bit about that, Slim Shady. Chandler White, thank you for the super chat, sir. Worst of the worst. Rutgers, Vandy, Arkansas, Northwestern. I like that. And, it hurts my feelings to see Northwestern added to that list, but they definitely deserve to be considered. What a disappointment they were this year.
Northwestern, they would definitely, at least for me, they would be in the perennially bad teams list, even though, last 15, 20 years or so, they've had some really good seasons. But when I was coming up, Northwestern and Vandy were almost mirrors of each other. Northwestern, Vandy, Rice, and I can't think of a fourth team. Those were schools that you just knew going into the year were maybe going to win one game, maybe.
Yeah.
And we don't have that much anymore that I can think of. Rutgers, that would have been a fourth team.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I can't think of anybody off the top of my head right now that every year going in, they're not going to win a game.
Right. Kansas. And that's changed. Maybe, I don't know if it's changing, but there's hope that it will change because of the whole Les Miles thing.
Well, when Friedgen was there, they won a few games.
What year are we in, 2020? Will Les Miles be at Kansas in 2022? So that would be
question.
2 more full seasons. This season is 2020 coming up. The season after that is 2021. Will he be the head coach of Kansas in 2023?
Are you surprised that Les Miles is not back in the SEC?
Well, that's kind of what I'm asking. Can he do enough at Kansas to convince somebody to give him a shot?
That's an awful tough place to to try and make a case for yourself. But they used to say that about Vanderbilt too, and now look at what's his face, James up at Clemson.
I mean, don't you think if he gets Kansas to a bowl, that's like
maybe
you better
maybe
leave
it would
right
be,
then. You know, you got to get out. You better leave
would,
then. If he gets Kansas
maybe
to a bowl, he better leave right then because that's
yeah.
You know, look what I did. Now hire me somewhere that matters.
Maybe he feels like, or they feel like, he'd have to get them to back-to-back bowls before he would be a warranted good hire. I don't know. I was a big fan of wanting Les Miles at Tennessee when we were in the midst of one of our 25 coaching searches that we had. So I'm a Les Miles fan. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know about you, but
he's entertaining. I'm not sure. I'm on the fence on how. He's definitely a good coach, definitely, without question. I'm on the fence on how good or is he great even.
Yeah,
I'm on the
status.
I'm on the fence on that. I mean, he did win a national title, and that's not easy to do. And I hear the whole that was with Saban's players.
Yeah,
but I mean, come on, still. So I don't know. We'll see, but. Tyrants 5 says, I can't wait for a new NCAA football game. Yeah, you and everybody else. Somebody told me 2020, somebody told me a date the other day, and it was 2023 or something, or 2024 or something. They're looking into maybe making a new one. Because, of course, with the new rules and stuff that go into effect in 2021, is it, where players can receive endorsements, then that means that, in theory, EA, the video game company, could pay college players, and that's why the game went away. For if there's anyone out there that doesn't know, it went away because a lawsuit was filed and it was ruled that you could no longer use college players' names, image, likeness, whatever in a video game because there was no way to compensate them.
Mm-hmm.
Now there is, because and starting, I believe it's after the 2021 season, players can sell the rights to their name. They can do endorsements. They can do commercials, which means they could be paid for licensing fees for a video game. So we'll see. That would be if a new college football game like that were to come out, a legit one. And I know every couple of years we get these other games that they're crap. Okay, if a real college football game like the old NCAAs by EA, if a new one of those games came out, it would probably break every video game sales record known to man.
Yeah. I wonder, talking about that endorsement thing, I wonder how wide that's going to open the door for more illegal cash flow.
Oh, a lot.
Will the NCAA be quicker to look away?
Because here's the thing: we're a capitalistic society. How can you can't regulate what one man thinks another man is worth? So you're a Tennessee fan. If you own the biggest car lot in Knoxville, right?
Mm-hmm.
Once these rules change, there's nothing, zero, to prevent you as a Tennessee fan who happens to own a huge car lot in Knoxville. There is nothing preventing you from paying Harrison Bailey $1 million to do a 30-second commercial for you, and then the next week he signs with Tennessee or whatever. Nothing preventing it.
Will there be, and you may have mentioned this and I just didn't catch it, I mean, is there going to be a cap on what these places can pay these guys, or
No, we have minimum wages in this country, not maximum wages. You can't tell somebody they can only pay somebody this amount of money for this amount of work. Can't just it doesn't. That's unconstitutional.
Theoretically, you're correct, but we're dealing with the NCAA here. They seem to have their own set of rules and standards that they've managed to make legal over the years.
No, this is a Pandora's box, I think. I mean, once this starts, everything is going to change overnight. I think there will be consequences and that we can't even imagine yet right now. That we're not even thinking about yet. But people are creative, so whatever rules they put in place, people are going to find ways to get around them. So now that there's basically no rules, it's going to be the wild, wild west. Will Tennessee ever beat Nick Saban?
Don't know if this is a good example or not, but okay, a football player goes to Tennessee, and automatically the university can give him all kinds of apparel, Nike apparel, whatever.
No. The school can't give him anything. School can't do anything. The school can't do any more than they're doing now. The school can't pay players.
Who gives them that apparel though?
What apparel?
The clothes that they're wearing, the Nike stuff.
Like
the 5 pairs of shoes and the.
They get that as part. I mean, that's practice uniforms. I mean, they get that. They get that. They've always gotten that.
So what I'm asking is what's the difference? Because they keep the stuff. I mean, it's pretty well documented that. The kids even talking about some of the great apparel that they get. What's the difference between them getting that from the school when they get there or getting it from Uncle Lou or BVD? I mean, why is it illegal for me to give Harrison Bailey a T-shirt, but it's not for the school to do it?
Well, because he's not on scholarship to play for you. He's on scholarship to play for Tennessee, and you can't play without a jersey. I mean,
I'm not. I don't think I'm making my point good enough. But I see what you're saying. Yeah, that does. Okay, that helps me out a little bit.
The school can give Harrison Bailey a place to live. You can't.
Right.
I mean, these are just things that go along with being on scholarship, I think. But Haruto Morty wants to know: will Tennessee ever beat Nick Saban?
Yeah, absolutely. This year. Just like it was going to happen last year, and it was going to happen the year before, and so on and so forth. We're going to beat Nick Saban this year, coming up, 2020, third Saturday. It's a done deal. Mark it down.
I agree with you, BVD. Anyway, we got to wrap it up for today. It's gone on long enough. It's almost 10 o'clock. A 2-hour morning show. Does this mean we get to take Friday off? Unfortunately, no. It doesn't work that way here in the land of LouTube or BVD Tube.
No,
BVD TV.
Don't get overtime either, do we?
No. It's like child labor laws don't apply. Nothing. I mean, we're slaves to the system here. But anyway, appreciate you guys tuning in this morning. A good show today, I think. We sort of ran the gamut.
Covered a lot.
Topics today. That was great. Big shout out to everybody in the Super Chat section. That's what keeps these shows going. Just going to be honest and upfront with you. That's why we do these live shows. So thank you. Brian, Braves WS, Logan Jackson, thank you, sir. Tyrants 5, T2Y exclusive, Slim Shady Canes, Vodka Drinker, Chandler White, and Haruto Morty. Thank you all so much for the Super Chats. BVD, what last words of wisdom do you have for these good people today?
I don't know how wisdomic it is, but thank you guys. Like he said, thanks for all the Super Chats. Thanks for showing up. Thanks for everything you guys do for myself and Uncle Lou. Wouldn't be possible without you. Love you. Come over to BVD TV tonight at 8 o'clock, regular Wednesday night stream. Plus, we have Tennessee basketball tonight, and we all know how exciting, thrilling, and amazing that is in itself. So, yeah, come on over at 8 o'clock tonight. Let's have some fun and make fun of some people.
Sounds good. Y'all check BVD out tonight. Of course, most of you probably know my schedule by now. If you don't, I just put it up on the screen for you there. Check out the nighttime shows. Join us here again Friday morning at 8 for the morning show. Me and BVD be back here again, entertaining the masses. And by masses, I mean 158 people. So appreciate all you guys tuning in. Big shout out to everybody in the comments section. Slim Mosley, DJJ, Tennessee, Curtis, Cajun-omics, Vodka Drinker, Jordan Bowman, Mike Taylor, Georgia on My Mind, T2Y Exclusive, The Pine Cone, Yep, Dog Life Ain't Easy, Ryan Sherlin, No QB. Remember all that time we spent talking about great creative troll names, BVD? This is the exact opposite. Guy's YouTube name is No QB. Good morning, sir. Cajun-omics, Christy, Jason Sturkey, Daniel Aldrich, Colonel 707, Delta Charlie, Foxtrot Echo. Appreciate all you guys tuning in this morning. It means a lot to both of us. We love you guys.
Indeed.
Couldn't do this show without you. Huh?
I was just saying, indeed, it does.
Yes, it does. Also in too. Thank you for concurring in that. But yeah, so appreciate y'all tuning in. We'll be back Friday morning to do it all over again. Join me tomorrow night, 10 o'clock for the call-in show. Have a good morning.
See ya.
Together we are invincible. Save the world from all wars. Save the world from breaking apart. Save us from losing our hearts. Save us from losing our souls. Save us from losing our souls. Save the world. Save the world from all wars. Save the world from breaking apart. Save us from losing our hearts. Save us from losing our souls. Together we can save the world. Together we are